Welcome to our episode for tonight, which we aptly entitled 100% Activity Ratio Doable This Pandemic.
Ayan.
Hello!
Hi, good evening.
Kamusta?
Maraming salamat po sa very, very heartfelt and warm welcome. So maybe no one cared enough to talk about how important financial planning is to my family. And that's the reason why ito pong career na ito, itong negosyo na ito, para sa akin po, hindi lang po ito something na ginagawa ko as a business. But para sa akin, personal po ito sa akin. And hopefully, I can inspire a lot of leaders to accept what is the current reality right now, because there's a lot of opportunities where we can expand our business and reach more Filipinos, but more than that, help more Filipinos so that no Filipino family would ever experience what we've experienced in our lives. Well, before I can share you probably the strategy or the structure, maybe for all the viewers who's watching right now, I want you to understand and accept that in the new way, there are actually 3 ways of working with people. What are these 3 things? First thing is informational. Second is motivational. The third is transformational. No? Even ako po, nung nag-uumpisa ako, ang hinahanap ko talaga ay information. Parang po yung kung paano ko sasagutin po yung tanong, no? I can answer it in an informational way by just giving ano yung solution sa problema. Second thing, okay? If nabigay na natin lahat ng information, baka kulang sa motivation, yun yung fallback eh. Baka kulang sa motivation kaya hindi gumagalaw or nagtitake action. We allow the people to craft their own dreams.
Yeah,
We
yes.
allow the people to craft their own desires, to craft their own desired life. And the way you practice yourself growing is through this business.
Hello, Miss Ida.
Hello, Jay. Hello, Ivy. Thank you for
Hi.
having me dito sa Leaders in Action.
Thank you.
Good evening.
For everybody watching.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to you.
So, most of my team members are millennials. I would say about 45% are millennials. Then, sa Gen X, about 34% are Gen X. Then we have 20% na boomers.
Even when they were already building their teams, no, syempre, busy sila, you and your siblings were somehow exposed also. So nakikita nyo yon.
Yes. Siguro maganda yun. Kasi if you want to brainwash your children to join you, bata pa lang siya, i-brainwash nyo na. Kasi yung mga ginagawa nila, yung mga ganon, nakikita namin eh. And slowly, life improved. So somehow, meron siyang effect sa mga bata na nag-i-improve siya. So if there are parents here watching, sabi ko nga, this session is dedicated for you. So if there are also children na kinukulit kayo ng parents nyo, for a reason, nagpakulit din ako eh. Not everybody also will say no nicely. Some will make you feel something eh. So pag nakikita yan ng mga bata, nakita ko yun eh. So yun yung mga reason na, ay ayoko mag-ganyan. Ayoko mag-sales, ayoko mag-join sa inyo. So children na may parents who are backing them up, nagkakaroon siya ng confidence. May backer ako. Diba?
Ano naman yung mga what were the initial challenges that you faced when you assumed the leadership?
Sobrang recruitment. Sobrang recruitment up until now. Kaya nga medyo nalulungkot ako when people keep paying. Kasi mahirap talaga mag-recruit. Kaya siguro they resort to something like that as a desperate move.
Hi, Miss Mariles. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Jay. Good evening, Ivy. Best teacher is by doing it, by showing it by example. Hindi lang namin sila tinuturuan how to sell, but we really show to them how to do the business properly, ethically, and professionally. Resiliency can be developed. Hindi naman po automatic yan. How do we know that they have this? Kinakausap po namin, we are very close to our agents kasi hindi po masyadong malaki po yung aming group. I got an IT to help me go through all this process. Yan din po yung ina-advise po namin sa aming mga agents na they have to be either creative, but they have no choice but learn how to adapt sa ating bagong situation, no?
Every year, syempre, meron kayong dinadagdag na mga tao sa members nyo. How do your values guide you when choosing the new members of your team?
Marami namang values na pwedeng ma-develop. Hindi naman lahat nandyan na agad sa kanila, innate na sa kanila. Pwedeng nandyan, hindi lang nila nakikita. Tamo rin po na if you do your work right, the income will follow. Ang hirap ng generation gap, no?
Yeah.
At least,
Tama.
one to know one. Mas maganda na sila na yung mag-usap. And we leave it to our son.
You've mentioned, meron kayong mga non-negotiable core values. Meron ho ba kayong conscious or intentional time spent to the values para siguraduhin nyo na yung values ninyo matibay at meron kayong nadadagdag na bago dahil sa tumatakbong panahon?
We always inculcate that to them every meeting kasi we meet every week. We have these motivational Mondays where all these values are upheld. Why? Because modesty aside, we are being used as a role model in other agencies, not only in the company but in other companies. Reliability is very important. Tenacity is determination and discipline. Kailangan magkasama palagi yan. Sa kanilang ganda, no, hindi mahalaga masyado how much money, but to make a significance, mahalaga sa kanila yon. So I see that, give them importance, believe in them, na kaya nilang mag-accomplish, and allow them also to do it in their own ways. Yan ako medyo nagigirapan. I want them to remember me as someone who is passionate to make a difference in the life of someone else.
Good evening, Jay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 5th episode of Leaders in Action Season 2. Tonight, we begin exploring the dynamics in an agency run by members of the family. There are a number of family setups in an agency: husband and wife tandem, sibling squad, parent and child partnership, and even one that has the founder or the first generation running the show with the third generation.
Good evening, Mr. Ivy, and good evening to all our Thursday kapamilya here in Leaders in Action. Yes, we have so many examples of family working together in the industry. And it is very interesting. It will be very interesting to know how they work and what makes them tick. But before we proceed to our in our episode for tonight, we'd like to thank again our guest last week, Miss Mariles Quevada of Coco Life, for her enriching sharing about values in the agency. To those who missed the episode last week, I strongly encourage that you watch the replay of the episode on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. You will definitely find the lessons shared by Mariles as relevant not only to agency work, but they are also applicable to many more aspects of our life.
Totally agree with you, Jay. Miss Mariles highlighted a lot of truth about our business, like providing service and delivering on our promise, which our values help sustain. But for this evening, we will look at that family setup involving spouses, what we normally call as couple power. See, when spouses work together, the stakes are usually high. Andyan yung career, yung personal lives, and of course, the relationship and the families are all at risk if the partnership on the job does not work out. So we will find answers to questions that are often asked when the husband and the wife are both engaged in the same business.
Yes, and given that both work and relationship are involved, the couple should really strike a happy balance between these two areas. Otherwise, there could be some potential trouble, not only in the business, but also at home. But Mr. IB, perhaps we can also say that even when striking that balance is not a walk in the park, successfully working together as a couple certainly has great rewards. And that is what no, we will be finding out in our episode tonight. To help us answer those burning questions about couples working together in the same business and to give us a clearer picture of the dynamics within, we are very happy that we are being joined tonight by the husband and wife tandem behind one of the most successful pioneering general agencies of ProLife UK. Mr. IB, I believe they are also the only surviving GA of their batch. And individually, they have received multiple awards and industry recognitions. The wife is a consistent Gamma IMA awardee, the most recent of which she received the Gamma IMA Titanium
Wow.
award. Yes, I think titanium is the highest level of award in Gamma, while the husband is an 11-time MDRT qualifier. So I'm sure they have a lot of interesting insights to share with us tonight. So hindi ko na po pakakahabaan. Please help me welcome, give us a warm welcome to our power couple guests for tonight, Mr. Paul and Miss Nina Borromeo of the Borromeo Insurance Agency of ProLife of UK. Hello, Paul and Nina.
Good evening, Miss J. Good evening, Mr. Ivy.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Leaders in Action and thank you again for accepting our invitation. We're so happy that you're able to join us tonight. And please call us IB and J.
Will do. Thank you.
Again, thank you for joining us tonight, Paul and Nina.
Thank you for having us.
Before we go into the actual questioning, I think it's good that you kindly please brief us about your agency, yung size, yung profile, area of operations, and your recent awards.
All right. Thank you, Ivy, for that. No, we are a 20-year-old general agency going on our 21st year. We're celebrating our 21st year in the office anniversary on October 10. So it's right around the corner, no? Yeah, we're excited about it. Excited even more to be blessed to celebrate in our current times, no, in spite of what we are, where we are, no, in our life and in our world. We have 5 different teams, 4 branches. I remember talking to Jay and mentioning that we have 3 branches, but just very recently we're happy to announce that this past September 30, we have been able to promote another branch manager, now comprised of 4 branches. She is a millennial and we're very happy for her to have made it this past September 30. We're comprised of about 800 agents and 25 leaders or so and counting. And our demographic is we're about 50% millennials, 20 to 25% Centennials, and about 30 to 35% Gen X. So we're really hoping to tilt it a little bit more towards the Centennials, the younger ones. And well, recently, apart from being awarded, and I'm very honored to be representing our team for the Gamma IMA Titanium Award. We are also currently contenders for the Platinum Award for Gamma as well. And we hope to be able to end stronger, but at least by maintaining our titanium level, the titanium level for Gamma.
Thank you. Thank you again. First, advance congratulations on your forthcoming anniversary. No? Parang pag tinitingnan ko si Paul, parang hindi kay 20 years ha. Parang unless you started when you were teenagers ha.
Oo eh.
She's the reason. She's the reason why I'm still trying to be young.
Obviously, in life insurance, parang walang tumatanda, no ha?
We'd like to think so.
Yeah,
we
we'd like
hope
to think
so.
Well, we go to our first question naman regarding ito parang very curious kami. What to work together in the same business given that there are risks to your own individual careers, syempre sa family, and even sa relationship. Kasi nga, iniisip ng karamihan, is this a good strategy since your source of family income will now come from one. Alam naman natin in agency, no, especially when you're starting, the income may not necessarily be stable. So why did you decide?
Maybe to answer that question, siguro, I need to go back to when we were 16 years old. She's my ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
Actually, my first. And ever since then, we've worked together in the student council, and we've been together in all our endeavors. So it was just natural for us to take this leap of faith with each other, actually. Leap of faith with each other. Na we can do this together, because without the support of one, it would be very, very difficult. We also saw the opportunity to strengthen our relationship, in a sense that if we would not have the experience and the activities in life insurance, the other spouse may not be able to understand what was happening. Why are you doing all these activities? Why are you traveling so much? Why do you have all these meetings and late nights and it's not an 8-hour job? Those things. So the friction there might be there if it were not experiential between the couple. So the last reason probably is that we always want to be all in. We're a type of couple that we give our all to whatever it is that we start and whatever it is that we do. So that in itself is a test siguro of our commitment, a test of our commitment to make this work.
well, I think those are really very good and strong answers, no, Paul. One, parang nakita ko you're looking at that as all the positives. One is that it can strengthen your relationship. Number two, it can send a very strong message to your advisors and to your clients. And number three, mahalaga sa negosyo nga natin is you're all in or fully committed to what you're doing. Congratulations, no, for that decision. Jay?
Yes. So very obvious na talagang the decision to be together in this business was there from the very start. Tama ba, Paul and Nina, no? So ang question ko is, while that decision was already there, but being new in this business, no, kasi I'm sure prior to joining the insurance business, you were engaged, in another business. So medyo inexperienced kayo, no, should I say, during that time. So given that, ano yung mga initial concerns or apprehensions that you had when you were making that decision? And what was really the clincher, no, that talagang parang you went forward, no, at talagang you jump into this business?
I think it's about circumstance, Jay. We found ourselves 21 years ago, we found ourselves being 32 years old. And Nina was always in corporate, and I was always in the family business. But we had two growing children, and our expenses would increase every month or every year. And being in corporate and being entrepreneurial, sometimes the risks are very, very high.
Yeah.
And the growth is there. The growth is not there. So there was this one day, I received an invitation to join an orientation in a hotel, that at that time Nina and I could not afford to eat in. So I said, what's the worst that can happen? I'll probably get a free dinner in that hotel that I've been wanting to eat in. So I attended, and I came home at 9 o'clock in the evening. This is very clear in my head. I woke Nina up because during that time we would sleep really early. When it came to the life insurance industry, we would sleep really late. But but I woke Nina up at 9, and we stayed up till about 2 or 3 in the morning, just crunching the numbers. And in 2 weeks' time, we decided to go all in. And may I expound on the all-in part?
Go ahead.
We didn't have the capital.
Yeah, please.
We didn't have the capital to build our agency. But what we did was we mortgaged our only property just to
Wow.
be able to build our office.
Wow.
And that only property was our family home.
Oh,
So backs against the wall, backs against the wall. No excuse. We have to get out there and we have to do it. We have to put our heart and soul into this business just to make it succeed. Because we had a criteria coming in. What did we want? What did we want to achieve? Number one, we wanted to have an office of our own. Number two is we wanted to pay our people well. Number three, we wanted to have a business that will be able to make a difference. Number four, we love the recognition and the travel, right? And number five is we wanted to have a business that we can hand over to our children. And this business, 21 years down the road, has been able to hit all the marks, all the 5 marks. So this is a blessing that we have right now.
I totally agree, Jay. No? In fact, if I may just add, I mentioned earlier that 25% of our demographic is centennial, and that's primarily, we credit that primarily to our 2 sons who are both in the business, because one helps us quite a bit in the office management as well as the marketing side, while the other, we are also equally as proud to say, was just promoted to unit manager last August in a pandemic year. And we're really, I think more than anything, Jay and IB, I'm sure having children does this to you. We always want our kids kasi, and our sons, they're no longer kids, no? To just be better human beings than we are. And that is the legacy that we can pass on to them. And we're just, we are very, very blessed to have them follow in our footsteps voluntarily, I may add, and later on I will expound on that. Totally their decision to decide to join our business.
wow. That's so nice to hear, no? So it's not only a husband and wife tandem, but it's already a family, no? A family business na talaga in your case. Now, I know that after 21 years, as you have said, all those bagabas nasa checklist nyo, na check na lahat, no? Tick na lahat. But it wasn't that from the very start naman, no? Alam na ba natin yon? So, ano ba yung mga siguro top 2 lang, no? Top 2 that comes into your mind. Ano yung pinaka top 2 major challenge that you had to go through when you were starting or building your general agency? Because Iba rin ang setup kasi no ng general agency from yung the traditional no agency na alam natin no. And as Paul has mentioned kanina, talagang all out no yung inyong ginawa rito para masupport no. Sabi nga natin yung collateral na ginawa nyo no, yung family home nyo no ang talagang pinut at stake nyo rito. So ano yung major challenges na you can still remember, and very briefly, how were you able to overcome it?
I think the major challenge really was first it was internally on us. Are we really agents? Can we really be leaders? The self-belief. And if you look at the year in 2000, when you say insurance agent, it was a different setting altogether as compared to today. Diba? It was difficult to accept that reality. That's first, and maybe in connection to that, it would be difficult also to invite people into the business because of the stigma that was related to the industry at that time. And happily, it's really turned around. It's really professionalized, and we're very happy with that. And we're very thankful to all the companies who have contributed to making our industry and our career even more prestigious than it was in 2000. The second would be it's the risk that we took. You know, when you mortgage your home for a quarter of its value, just to be able to set up the agency, because we were looking at not being marketable anymore at 32, right? So we needed to put all our eggs in that basket.
Moving on, if you're working as a couple, especially a very successful power couple, does it matter that your identity as individual get lost in that partnership?
Maybe you want to answer that?
Well, it's sometimes talaga, Ivy, no, it tends to get smeared. Blurred talaga ang lines. It's definitely not black and white. There are advantages and disadvantages to it, Ivy. I totally agree. I remember in the beginning of the setup, our general agency, when we were still in the red, you know, we would sometimes lay our heads on the pillow and still talk about, you know, the things that the strategies that we would like to set into play. What would the next week or the next month hold for us? Because very fluid, no, kahit na yung strategically from where we were at. Definitely, there are crossovers, but I suppose kasi IB, what happened to Paul and I in the beginning, things kind of just fell into place. I took the management side, the operations side, even the administrative side. And siguro, maybe because we kind of just found our space, Paul also leaned more towards sales. And because his background is really in marketing, my background happens to be in human resources. So I kind of fit into, you know, that area of operations and administration, while Paul went into sales and marketing.
We tried to, informally, we looked at our SWOT informally, and we fell into where we were effective in. And Nina's very good in the office and people skills, and I would be better off in the field.
Actually, can we share a bit of a secret, IB and Jay? Kasi si Paul mentioned kanina how we spoke about it extensively, no? When we decided to get into the business, knowing that we were a clean slate, no? And maybe up to a certain level, that's an advantage. Kasi we really had no idea of what we were getting into. Yeah. But when we literally did a feasibility study, IB and Jay, of the business, not just crunching the numbers, but calculated risks, the time that it would take. We really, although we cannot predict every step, no, that we
Yeah.
take, pero as much as possible, what we try to do talaga is get to it to the closest approximate timeline, the closest approximate target. So ganun talaga yung ginawa namin sa simula.
Pero speaking of what Nina said, na clean slate, that's what we shared with Bobby and Bobby Madrid and Vic Espanol. If Bobby's watching and Vic's watching.
Shout out.
What we said, and it's very clear again in my head, no? I told Vic, we're a clean slate right away. Magsulat ka na. We will just follow what you're saying. So the trust was there, the inexperience was there. Therefore, we did not pretend to know anything. Therefore, we did everything that was told of us to do for us to be able to succeed. So that is also like setting aside our own ego and what we can bring into the table.
Yeah.
But we never lost our personality, IB, if you from your question. We never really lost it because we fell into kung ano yung dapat namin gagawin. And
Parang you found your space within that
our niche, yes.
question. Syempre now you're doing well individually in your own. Did you in a way sense any competition between the two of you? Meron bang hidden na parang professional jealousy na undertones?
I've never felt that way. I did probably because from the beginning, our lines insofar as responsibility was quite clear. We always root for each other because nga iba naman yung aming specialty. There are times, of course, especially when it comes to management, managing the business in itself. No? Nabanggit nyo nga kanina, Ivy and Jay, na iba talaga ang pamamalakad kapag general agency. Kasi syempre, there's also the operational side that you have to manage. So dun kami nagkakaroon ng a lot of consultation, no? Consultative kami in that respect. But because our roles fell into place, we look towards each other more as siguro more of kumbaga pa parang scale, balancing scale. Tama ba tong ginagawa ko? You know, sounding board. Thank you. Tama ba tong ginagawa ko? Are we doing it? And sometimes we find ourselves individually asking that question and then together as well, no? Collaboratively thinking, tama ba tong ginagawa natin? Are we doing the right thing? So, in that respect, hindi naman siguro to answer your question, have we ever felt like we were competing with each other? Yun siguro ang advantage, no, kapag couple.
I think that's simply answered by I've learned my place. So I'm not going to do anything.
Before I pass on to Jay, again, I just want to reiterate, certainly when you started and made the decision, a lot of planning and analysis went into the picture. Number two, you place a lot of trust on the people that you've been dealing with, no? And number three, obviously, no, because of your many years together, communication is paramount to your success. Jay?
Yeah. So, again, very obvious yung communication nyo ay talagang present in you. But has there been any instance when decisions have to be made and somehow you differ in your opinions? How do you normally resolve that? Is there a written or unwritten rule between the two of you on how you solve it? Who normally has the last say?
Well, it's simplified lang that I am the head of the family. My wife is the neck. Wherever the neck goes, the head will follow. Now, but seriously, very clear naman kasi yung delineation ng roles and responsibilities na. When it comes to sales and operations, then I'm the one who has to weigh the decision. When it comes to administrative and when it comes to head office relationships, then Nina is the point person there. So I just provide my input, she provides her input, and then we see which is the best possible scenario na pwede natin makita. No? So parang okay lang naman. Well,
Well, if I may just
Yeah.
input, of course, there have been times, Ivy and Jay, that we have disagreed. I suppose what they say is really, that we disagree to agree on certain decisions. No, sometimes what ends up happening is if our opinions vary, we let a little bit of time go by, and then we analyze some more which is the best and the best decision for that particular situation. But it's a rarity.
Yeah, but there's a rule though that once we've made the decision, dapat united front. We cannot disagree in public, or we have to support each other, because bottom line yun na yun. We have to support each other. The foundation, I think, is stemming from our married life, also having mutual respect with each other. No one is above the other, or whatnot. We're partners in life and in business.
Always beside, as they would say, Ivy. And in fact, if I may just also add that that same relationship and that same decision making, we're very happy to say we've actually been able to pass on even to our management team. We may disagree with certain decisions, but it remains within management. And when we are in front of our financial advisors, we are a united front, because we've already made that decision so somehow talagang nagsispill over lang siya, no? Oo, sa kultura talaga.
Actually, that would be my follow-up question, because apparently between the two of you, the agreement or the rule of engagement is very clear. But how does it transcend, beyond you doon sa grupo nyo? Is that rule of engagement also very clear sa mga tao nyo? Has there been no confusion? Kanino ba ako pupunta? Kay Miss Nina ba ako o kay Mr. Paul ba ako pupunta? Sino ba ang mas mabilis mag-agree? Sino ba ang mabilis mapapayag natin? Doon tayo magpapaalam. Meron bang ganoon o very clear sa grupo nyo na kapag ganito yung subject matter, I will be the one deciding on this. If this is the subject matter, then the other one will be deciding on this. Is that the dynamics in the agency?
Yes, basically, Jay, that is a dynamic in the agency. Although the way we work kasi with our management team is it's quite democratic. We always involve them because we believe that they always have something to share and to a new experience, to contribute to us. And if there is one thing that this industry has taught us, and I'm sure Jay and Ivy would agree, is always being open to new learnings and new experience for expansive growth. And we truly believe that our leaders also have their experiences to share that can contribute to the betterment of our team culture expansion. And so when we do involve them collaboratively, it provides a better synergy, in my opinion, and it crosses over to, as they would say, culture is defined, which is the way we do things around here. So even that kind of just fell into place. So to answer your question, Jay, they kind of know who to go to for what, no? And they also know that they cannot go to one without the other one. If it is something that Paul is supposed to decide on, they are well aware that I would pass it on and vice versa. So I'd like to think that there hasn't been much of confusion in that respect, and it's quite clear. And we also manage their expectations as well as clarify that from the get-go, from the beginning talaga.
Very clear yung roles, no? So everybody understands. Now, question naman is that, well, the role in the business is clear. May overlap ba yan sa family? Is there a demarcation line separating your business issues from family matters? O parang mahirap yun na mag-distinguish. Ang pinag-uusapan natin about the family, hindi. Pinag-uusapan natin about the business. Meron ba pang ganon o wala na? Just one.
I think everything is there's no delineation anymore between family and business. It's a family business. So it's part of our life. It's part of our life. It's part of our experiences. Being general agency leaders, no, I'd really not want to say owners, but being the ones who started the general agency, it's become part of our life, and it's enveloped our life already. Sometimes si Nina will remind me na while we're at lunch or at the dinner table, and then we're talking to the boys and I'm talking business, and she tries to tell me na, oh, let's talk about something else. And vice versa, I also do the same thing for her, because it becomes a board meeting whenever it's lunchtime or dinner time, parang ganun, no? So yeah, the decisions. Go ahead, Ivy. Sorry.
Are the boys not complaining na panay negosyo na lang, or they also understand and they already are into it?
They haven't complained openly.
But we have been very blessed, IB, with our sons and their outlook, embracing the business. But I second what Paul said, no, that vice versa. He also reminds me, because I in turn sometimes have a tendency to just go on and on and on. And but I suppose it also shows, I'd like to look at it from a different light also, IB and Jay, no? It goes to show lang siguro how passionate we are,
Yeah.
and how clear we are on wanting to make a difference talaga, wanting to be able to make an impact. And as Paul mentioned, and I'd like to reiterate it, we are so ever so grateful to those who have pioneered, and paved the way for couples like us to really try to do our best and even better in this business. Because without those pioneers, I don't think that the life insurance industry would be where it is right now, most specifically in the Philippines, no.
Or
Ibang-iba talaga.
or even the ones who are the couples who are working together now.
Yeah.
We learn so much from them. We know a lot of couples who are even better than us, and we try to ask them what they're doing and how they're doing it, and we learn from them. So even 21 years down the road, we're not the experts in this business. We just have a lot of mistakes. We just have a lot of experience to share.
Yeah, and we know how not to commit those mistakes again. But I totally agree with Paul. Ang ganda ng nangyari sa industriya natin, na napaka-generous ng pag-share ng mga experiences ng ating mga colleagues talaga. So, and walang delineation sa age rin. So, ang ganda.
It's very nice of you to acknowledge, those who came before you, which is really very true, and I hope that generosity and openness will continue so that this industry will continue to grow. Now, another question related to family and business. Kasi di ba, pag business, dapat you have to be as objective as you can. Pero when it comes to family, medyo mas mataas yung value ng emotion sa decision. So, meron ba kayong ganong challenge na kapag you make a decision on business, may emotion na how do you manage the emotion and the objectivity in your decision making?
First off, I think we operate from the idea that dapat this is going to be for the good of all, and not necessarily just for the good of the business. So we've done so many things na pikit mata, para at least everybody's going to be supported. So from that foundation, it's not very difficult to make decisions, kasi it's never a selfish decision to begin with.
For the greater good, no? Parang that's what you're saying.
Ateneo, di ba? For others.
Yeah, blue and white. Jay,
Okay, before I ask my next question, shout out lang tayo. Kanina binati nyo na siya. Si Mr. Bobby Madrid is in the house. So he's watching right now. So BM, hello and thank you for watching us. So ito po yung inyong mga isa sa inyong mga anak no sa True Life no si Paul at si Nina.
yeah.
Okay, so balik tayo no. It's very good that between the two of you, sabi nyo nga parang wala ng delineation no between personal and family. Unfortunately, syempre merong ibang mga husbands and wives, no, yung mga couples, lalo na yung mga nag-uumpisa pa lang, who might still be struggling, no, having that kind of ano to, no, parang rules of engagement. Especially ngayon na ito yung under the work from home arrangement, no, talagang na-blur niya yung boundaries, di ba? Between family life and work life. Dati-rati at least, di ba, pag lumabas ka ng bahay, pumunta ka sa office, medyo merong pang boundaries. Ngayon kasi nasa isang ano lang tayo, no, confinement. How important it is and how are you able to ensure na kahit papaano meron pa ring separation, no, yung workspace, no, space na lang, no, yung workspace ay yung mga business disagreements, no, business conflicts. How do you ensure na hindi yan na dadala doon naman sa family space, no? Because again, unlike you, hindi lahat yata ay mamamanage yun eh. So, in your own experience, paano nyo na-handle yung ganong klase ng sitwasyon?
Siguro, Jay, in the current times, I think you hit it right on the nail's head. Yung workspace, napaka-important. Kailangan lang talagang maghanap ng isang corner no, of your home so that in itself is the way that we are able to compartmentalize the work. Insofar as being able to Jay, did I understand your question correctly? If there are disagreements, how are we able to separate it? Tama ba?
Yes, that's
we siguro because nga we've been working together for quite a while. We understand. Paul is really good at this, actually, Jay, no? And I think it's a characteristic of most men. He can shut down and shut off, no, and then move to his hobby, compartmentalize, move to his hobby, move to relaxing. I think I'd like to speak for myself, but I also know a lot of women who are like this. Medyo muddled pag women. Medyo naghahalo-halo talaga siya. And I think that's why Paul is there to remind me, as we had mentioned kanina, during family time, he nudges me or he looks at me to remind me that, shut down na muna. We need to be able to bond and have other topics other than work.
But it always goes back to work anyway. So it always goes back to work. But I think just as a tip lang siguro, as a tip for our friends who are watching and if they're thinking about doing this together, maybe like in anything, it's leveling of expectations. Yun ang importante. Mag-usap muna, may pinag-usapan. Ano ba yung may kasabihan, di ba? Walang api sa may pinag-usapan. So it's important that you talk about it and not champion that talk, but gently nudge naman. Because after all, you started off as a married couple. There's a different foundation there. It's not a business partnership to begin with.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir
Related to that, no, what lessons, siguro, again, for the benefit of the listeners, what lessons have you picked up in running your agency that are useful as well in running a family and then vice versa?
Agency kasi is very people-oriented. Diba? It's a very people-centered. If you can speak to an agent kindly to be able to influence them to do better, what more should you be able to do for your children or for your own spouse? Diba? If you can do that to a stranger, you should be able to do it for the people that you love. So it has taught us so much. This industry, has taught us so much patience and understanding to a level that we bring to uh, our family, our family unit. In the same way, our family experiences, we also bring it to our agency because it's not always business naman rin if you think about it in terms of handling a team or being part of a team. It's not always about the business. It's all about the people. So that's probably where we can see uh, how we can mix both the best of both worlds.
I agree, no? I
Yeah.
think it's really relationships that carries us through. Sometimes kasi the tendency of most is they 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 verbalize values and a culture, but as you know, it is ano naman kasi, no? It is developed through time.
Yeah.
We can guide them on the values, our foundation, but if we don't move and act, in congruence to it, sabi nga ni Paul, action speaks louder than words. Relationships are very I'd say yun yung nakikita ko lesson rin na naturo sa akin ng industriyang ito. That relationships, not just to our clients, but even to our colleagues, who sometimes we call our family na rin, really matter. And since Bobby is watching tonight, that's one of the foundations also that we learned from Bobby. And I cannot forget this from 21 years ago. One of the very first lessons that up to now, I still carry with me is, in the end, it is the relationships that you have built through the years that matter, because it transcends work, it transcends everything, all the good and the not so good. And what are you left with? It's really relationships. So if I tie it up to family, ganun din siya. At the end, it really should be in the forefront of everything that we do.
Thank you. So again, we can see the consistency, that is present in both family and business, that you're running. Jay?
Okay, fortunately, I am down to my last question for tonight. So, Paul and Nina, aside from what you have mentioned earlier, what can you still consider as the strength of each other, and how does it complement yours?
Pwede bang
Ano?
when I look at Nina and look at our life, even before, we would never consider ourselves as separate, but we're individuals, but never separate. So her strength is something that I am very weak in, and my strength is something that Nina needs to work on also. So it's really complementary in that respect. So individually, we can do it, but together, it's even greater as long as may pinag-usapan lang. And the motivation really is not for us. It's always for the family and for the lessons, not the material things that we're able to provide the family, but for how we can be remembered by our children and our grandchildren of having at least tried to make a difference. And that's what we learned from the leaders that have taught us, like Bobby, sila Vic, sila Junbei, Divine, the leaders that have taught us that relationships matter, and in the end, try to make a difference. Try to make a difference. That's the best you can do this.
And parang as a clincher to that, how really rewarding is having your spouse as a business partner?
Very much so, Jay. Um, I cannot even imagine having done this without Paul, and even now, proudly no, without the boys. It gets me emotional every time I think about it, because sometimes when we talk, um, when we're alone and we talk about, where, how far we've come, um, it's always beside, um, we're always beside each other, never above, never below, but always beside each other. And even with our two boys, no, it's the same. Um, hindi ko mawari, Jay. I can't even fathom how I'd be able to make it this far without Paul and the two boys, our sons, Rafi and Diego, in our life, and everybody else who has helped us along the way, have been generous enough to help us along the way.
Everybody who stayed and everybody who's left.
Yeah,
Has-
even
has
our
contributed.
team. Yeah.
Everybody who's left also has contributed to our growth.
Yes, I totally agree. In the beginning, you look at it as parang sama naman, bakit naman kami inalisan? But as we mature, we realize that they have taught us lessons as well. And they continue to teach us lessons even for those who are in our team right now. And we're very proud. We're very proud to have them. We're very proud to call them family as well. And I think that's what it is also.
Mhm.
It's really the love that is there for not just the family, but our team and the business, and to make a difference, definitely.
I believe you being able to produce 4 agencies, 25 managers, and about 800 advisors, no, really, no, is proof the love, the passion, and the care that you have for the business, no. And for you nga, hindi lang ito business, it's really a family, no? And that really shows, no, in what you have achieved so far. So congratulations again to both of you.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
it's a vocation. It's not a business. It's a vocation already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
What started as a business is now a vocation.
It is. It is.
Again, ang bilis ng oras, patapos na tayo, no? What will be your final words of inspiration to other hardworking couples in our industry?
Siguro, IB, as we have formed our team, we also have seen couples that have developed their businesses, their insurance business in the same manner. I suppose there are two things that I can share. First of all, to remember why you are getting into the business, getting into the partnership to begin with. So it's still going back to the why, to our why we did it. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves, it's to leave a legacy, to be better, and so on, whatever the reasons may be. And for those who are starting, please never forget that you're starting as a couple, that it is a gift that is being given to you to be able to start a business with the foundation of love. So in the end, we have to go back to this being an effort as a couple with the foundation of love and respect and understanding why we do what we do each and every day. Paul?
It's
Very, 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 very well said again, no? Sabi nga nila, love conquers all, no? Finally, no, we can see it in your eyes. We can see it in how you look at each other and how you defer to each other. What's your greatest joy as a power couple?
that we woke up this morning together. That's the greatest joy. I need to be honest. The day kasi passes like a blur because of all the things that need to be done. And then I remember my uncle saying, he has a notepad and says, "Thank you, Lord, for all these that I have to do." That's the greatest joy, that we get to do this together. We get to experience the ups and the downs and the sideways together. And it's something that we can share. You know, when we rest at night and we have frustrations, we have somebody to absorb that frustration as compared to maybe not being in the same industry. Baka it's difficult. Baka it will be difficult. I wouldn't know. 21 years in 28 years of marriage. So 21 years, this is our life.
For me, what the feeling that I get when you ask the question, IB, is siguro seeing the development and the growth, and not just of our family, having our two boys being in the industry, but also the growth of our teammates. It brings so much joy to us to see how they are, their lives are so much better. They are making a difference and paying it forward. Yun yung mga walang katumbas na pwedeng ibayad or to speak of. And that's where we suppose we get our strength and our joy from. Our inner joy is knowing that, sabi nga ni Paul, we do it not for other people. What more your professional family and your nuclear family at that. So yun siguro ang parang nangunguna sa akin na nakikita ko.
Thank you very much. No? Gusto ko lang balikan yung sinabi ni Paul na una-una na one of your greatest joys is waking up together, no? Which is really sometimes people take for granted, but given the times that we have today, I totally agree with you, no? That is one of the greatest joys by working together as a couple and enjoying each day, no, in your journey.
Okay, so thank you very much, Paul and Nina, for your very generous sharing. But we are not yet done. Okay, we still have this last segment. Has nothing to do with insurance anymore. Has nothing to do with the business. Okay, we call this the couple trivia. Okay, usually we do the fast talk. Okay, but since couple kayo, so I will not do the fast talk. So couple trivia tayo. So there are just 5 questions. So una muna, if you are to consider each other as an ulam, okay, kung bawat isa sa inyo ay ulam, anong klaseng ulam Nina si Paul? Paul, anong klaseng ulam si Nina at bakit?
Okay. Hindi siguro specific sa ulam, pero sa klase ng, pwede bang klase na lang category?
Okay, sige.
Oo. The more well-defined, the simpler, the better. Yun yung klaseng ulam na si Paul. Ganun siya. Hindi siya complicated.
Siyang adobo na napaka bilis lang, no? Lagyan mo lang suka, toyo, garlic, luto na, pero masarap pagkatapos.
Yes.
Nasobrahan niya
Tama.
ng toyo. Nasobrahan niya ng toyo, Jay. Nasobrahan ng toyo. No?
Ano yun, Paul? O, Paul, anong klaseng ulam si Nina?
Si Nina, buffet.
Okay.
Buffet.
Bakit?
Oo, kasi naka-segregate, 'di ba? Tostado, there's a flow to it. Pero ang dami-daming kulay, ang dami-daming tastes and fragrances.
Yeah. Madaming pwedeng i-offer si Nina. Ang ganda naman nun. Okay, second, if you are to describe each other using colors, what color is each other and why?
Una ka naman,
Oh,
Paul.
no.
Una ka.
Anong kulay si Nina at bakit?
Wait. Something light, something alive. Maybe not red, but sige, ganito, peach.
Peach.
Yeah,
Okay.
the color of your blouse.
Color ng
Yeah, it's very calm and soothing. But it's understated, but it will always be there. It's not gonna go away.
Okay, thank you. Nina, anong color si Paul?
Well, he has a favorite color, pero I will not let that influence me because I see him as blue, and not because of his alma mater, but because it for me blue represents serenity and sturdiness, no, and fluidity. Kasi just like as I envision the ocean, the color, the deep blue, no, quite deep. That's the other aspect siguro that I would describe him to be. Simple man siya sa pagkain, hindi siya ganun ka-simple na tao. Malalim siya, no? And very fluid because easily, wherever you put Paul, I would suppose that's probably also because of our profession, no? He can adjust. You put him in a situation, whatever situation, he's quick on his feet and is able to adjust a lot better than I can. That's for sure. So yun, I suppose serenity, sturdiness, fluidity, and how much more layers there are to him in kung sa deep blue sea pa. Parang ganun.
Okay. What is your favorite physical attribute of each other?
I'm sorry, Jay. I think our connection was lost for a while. Could you repeat the question, please?
The question is, what is your favorite physical attribute of Paul? And Paul, what is your favorite physical attribute of Nina? Are we okay with the connection? Okay. Nawala yata tayo. Okay, nawala yata sila.
I think, yeah.
Medyo there's something wrong now with the connection nila. So I think they're trying to connect again. So they're here, they're back.
Sorry about that. I think it was our unstable internet connection.
Oh, yung internet. Okay, ito na lang, last na lang to. Oh, last na lang to. What is your favorite physical attribute of each other?
Sige, I'll start. Probably for Paul, it's symbolic kasi my favorite physical attribute of Paul is his hands. He's always there whenever I need him. And siguro for what it symbolizes, that's why it's my favorite attribute of him. Second to that, of course, is his eyes because it's very soothing to me. He always makes sure that he is my rock. No, he's the one that is sturdy. Paul?
We have to in this session because we need to learn how to segregate business and family and personal. So I will leave the physical attributes to the personal side.
Okay, so I will not delve into that anymore, Paul. Okay, so thank you very much to both of you for being so candid, no, in answering this trivia question. Medyo nagkakaproblema lang tayo sa internet connection, so we'll go ahead already. And thank you again for being with us tonight and for letting us in, no, into your circle and sharing with us the formula of how, no, you can be successful and or how you can have a successful and a happy partnership with your spouse. So pwede pala yon na maging alay natin sa business ang ating mga asawa, no? So very quickly, 3 things lang talaga na nakuha ko sa inyo na talaga nag-impress sa akin, no? Why magiging very successful at happy ang isang mag-asawa sa business, kahit na anong business together. Number 1 is yung sinabi nyo na it is very important that from the very start, there should be the leveling of that expectation, no? So that each one, no, knows what can be expected of each other. Number 2, in connection with that, is by harnessing or tapping, no, the strength of each other. Kapag alam natin kung ano ang strength ng bawat isa at paano natin ito mapuput, no, at magagamit, no, to our benefit, no. Walang sabi niyo kanina, hindi kailangan magkaroon ng professional jealousy or professional rivalry, no, because each one is able to shine, no, in your own way, no. At yung pangatlo na importante is making sure, no, na yung sabi mo nga Paul, yung kanina, yung when you started, yung talagang clean slate, you strip of yourself, no, of your egos, no, at talagang sinunod nyo to the letter kung ano po yung sinabi sa inyo ng inyong mga mentors, no. So I think that is those three things are very important at nag-struck sa akin, no, why maybe after 21 years, no, talagang you are very successful and still very happy as can be shown, no, in the way you treat, no, each other. Ngayon lang namin kasi kayo nakita tonight, pero kitang-kita namin yung trust, yung respect at yung love nyo for each other. So again, thank you very much to the both of you for sharing all those generous insights to us and to our audience.
Again, from my end,
Thank you.
again, salamat Paul and Nina for making this time and to join us tonight. No? As we know, there can be a lot of pitfalls when both spouses work together in a business. But from your example, no, the journey together and the rewards far outweigh the risk. So once again, my heartfelt congratulations to you, and you truly are, to me, an inspiration to a lot of couples out there, and should be a great encouragement for young couples to join our industry, no, and to help grow this industry so that we can touch a lot more people out there. Salamat.
So thanks
Thank you
again.
for having us.
Yeah, I would like to thank you also for the invitation, for giving us this opportunity to celebrate this industry, celebrate family, celebrate life in itself, and to give honor to those who have gone before us and who have taught us here. Bobby is being in the room. Bobby, maraming salamat. Jumbing, I'm sure he's around as well. So thank you very much for everything that you have taught us. IB and Jay, maraming salamat to your generosity of being able to invite us.
Yes, thank you very much for having us, and thank you for inviting us. We hope that we have been able to help those who may be thinking, no, also of coming in as a couple.
Yeah, reach out to us if you have questions.
We'll be more than happy to share our experiences. Salamat.
Thank you for that. No, I think it is no coincidence that we are having this episode in time for your 21st, no, anniversary celebration. So we are very happy to be part of your 21st celebration. Hindi namin alam, no, na ito pala ay magiging celebration nyo na on October 10, no? So very, very timely, parang naging days ahead lang tayo. So sana nakatulong itong episode na ito, no, to make your 21st anniversary extra memorable. So thank you very much. And again, thank you everyone for spending your Thursday evening with us. I'm sure after hearing the story of Paul and Nina, you are also excited to invite your spouse to join you in your business. So what are you waiting for? Gawin nyo na kagad yung career orientation, no, sa inyong mga asawa, and invite them already to join you in your business. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe our YouTube channel and Facebook page. So that notify po kayo ng ating mga succeeding episodes, no, and other future contents. Please continue to build our community of learning and sharing leaders. At this point, Mr. Ivy, gusto ko lang pasalamatan yung ating dating kasamahan, si Mr. Ryan Gabila, who is now ProLife's head for the entire Mindanao. Isa po siya sa mga tumulong sa atin, no, to connect with Nina. No? So Ryan is one of my anak sa industriya na ito, Mr. Ivy. So, Ryan, maraming salamat at sa uulitin.
Thank you, Ryan. And I want to echo what both Paul and Nina mentioned about Bobby. Bobby has contributed a lot to the industry. No? So I hope all is well with you, Bobby. Speaking naman of next week, no, we will be featuring a mother and son tandem. We will be joined by managers Edna and Reynold Gan of AIA Philippines to share with us the dynamics naman of leading the second largest agency of their company in terms of manpower as mother and son. So I'm sure si Paul and Nina will be interested together with your two children to know also how they run the business. Reynolds started as a financial advisor immediately from college, achieved COT, TOT levels, and the youngest life and qualifying MDRT in Southeast Asia when he registered his MDRT. So we hope that all of you will tune in next Thursday for our episode.
Yes, so we invite you again, everybody, next Thursday for another Kapamilya episode. After learning tonight from the perspectives of a husband and a wife, next week we will be hearing and learning naman from the perspective of a mother and a son. So that will be October 14, Thursday, 8 p.m. here in Leaders in Action. All?
It's real leaders.
Real stories.
And real talk.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thanks,
Stay safe.
Paul. Thanks, Nina.
Again,
Thanks,
Paul,
everyone.
Nina. Good night. Thanks.
Stay
Bye-bye.
safe.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.